Hello and welcome to Ontario Ringside Roundup. This is the first episode of Ontario Ringside Roundup, and I'm very excited today because I am not doing this alone. I have another host with me, and I'm very excited that she's agreed to do this show with me because we had such a great time last time. Please help me welcome the other host of Ontario Ringside Roundup, Michelle Leith. Michelle, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Lewis. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How's your week going?
Oh, it's been great. Riding on the high from the shows from a couple weeks ago, and It's been a good week. The weather's not been so good, but yeah, life is good.
All right, cool. Yeah, I was actually before I was in London, I kind of scored. I got a Mr. McMahon Funko Pop doll for $3, so I was very happy that I was able to pick that up. So I put it right next to my Kenny Omega doll. So yeah, I'm a bit of a geek, but no, I was very, very excited when I saw it for $3.
Awesome.
All right, cool. So we have a very, very special guest today. I've seen this guy 3 of his matches at PWA Canada, and they were all very, very good. I'm very excited that he's here today. Very happy to welcome Elian Habanero. Elian, welcome to the show, man.
Oh, I'm so excited. I love wrestling. I love talking wrestling. And Lewis, I must say, love your show, and you picked such a great co-host. Michelle is one of the genuinely best people I've ever met in my life, and she'll be a fantastic co-host.
Well, there's a little plug there for you, Michelle, from Elian. That's good. It's good. So
thank you so much. So sweet.
Yeah, you're a sweet guy, Elian. And I'm very. When I saw you on the last show, I was a little surprised that you recognized me. You said, "Hey, Lewis, how you doing?" So I was like, "Oh wow, Elian recognizes me." That was pretty cool.
Well, I'd be nothing without the people that support the wrestling, and if it wasn't for them, then I would be nothing. So
there you go, man. There you go. Like I said, last three matches that I saw. I went to my first PWA show December 1st, and your opponent was Kobe Durst, of course. Then Lenny Lilac, and the last show, Kobe Christ. So I always wanted to ask you, how did you get started in pro wrestling? What got you started with professional wrestling?
Well, I always loved wrestling ever since I was like 5 years old. I grew up in the 80s, and I loved the WWF. I grew up in a small town, Canberra River, British Columbia.
Okay.
And we only got WWF. We didn't really get any of the other stuff. So I got hooked on WWF, and then me and my friends would play wrestle. We had a trampoline and stuff. And when I was about 15, when we started talking about like career choices in school, then I was always really into sports, but then wrestling kind of took over, and I kind of started dropping out of sports and just focusing everything on wrestling. So when I was about 15, I knew for sure I was going to do it, and 2 months after I graduated, I moved out to Ontario to go to the wrestling school.
All right, so where actually did you train? What school did you?
There was a Hart Brothers school in Cambridge, Ontario. It was called the Hart Brothers School.
Okay.
Smith Hart was there, the oldest brother. He wasn't there all the time, but he was there periodically. And there was some good things about the school and some bad things about the school, but I have no regrets because I learned how to wrestle and I got my foot in the door.
All right, cool. Well, Michelle, if you have a question, I'll let you take it from here.
I do. Elian, do you remember your very first match?
Yes, I do. It was October, I think 15th or 17th in Cambridge, Ontario at the Steelworkers Hall versus a guy named Don Coyote. And so I'd only been training. I moved out there in July, so I'd only been training for about 3 months, and it was a huge deal to me. I went back home for Christmas, and I had the VCR tape of it, and I showed all my high school friends, and just doing that one match, I felt like I was an actual wrestler, and haven't stopped since then.
Wow, that's awesome.
So, like, what do you remember? Like right before your first match, you're about to hit the ring for the first time ever. I mean, what are you thinking? You must have had butterflies in your stomach. You must have been really, really nervous before you hit that ring for the first time.
Well, I was very, very focused, but according to the other guys in the locker room, I looked like I was about to throw up, and they were giving me a hard time saying how nervous I was. But I guess I was nervous, but I think if you aren't nervous, then what are you doing in this business? Like, you should want to do good, and you should feel those butterflies.
Of course. Were you victorious? Did you win the first match?
I actually did. I still have it. I think it's on YouTube, actually. It's
okay, wow.
me versus Don Coyote, and one of the Highlanders who had just started training, Robbie McAllister, was actually the ref because he hadn't started wrestling yet. And
okay.
Yeah, I actually won that first match. I was pretty proud of that.
What year was that, actually?
That was October 15th, 2000.
2000, wow. So you've been doing this for almost 20 years, man.
Yeah,
so,
I was 18 years old, and now I'm 36.
You're 36. Wow, I thought you were in your early 20s, man. You're 36 years old. Wow.
No.
I didn't think you were that old, man.
Yeah.
That's
almost 19-year career.
That's impressive. What do you think? He doesn't look that old, does he, Michelle? He looks a lot younger than that, in my opinion.
Not at all, not at all. We all kind of look a little younger than we are. It's a nice problem to have in wrestling.
Yeah, well, not me. I think I look my age. I'm almost 50, so I think I look my age.
So.
No,
no one would guess.
Oh, thanks.
No.
I appreciate that.
It's really just a number.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So
exactly, it evens out. I have a face of a 20-year-old and the body of a 60-year-old.
There you go. Is that balance?
So, who's some of your favorites growing up? When you were growing up,
my first favorite was Jake the Snake. I just loved him. I was drawn to it. My mom actually knitted me this fake snake in the bag like him, and I would DDT the pillows and put the snake on, and then I really got into Undertaker. I loved Undertaker, and then Mankind and those kind of guys.
Okay.
But Jake the Snake was definitely my first when I was 5 and 6 years old.
Oh wow, cool. Well, Michelle, you have another question for Elian?
Yes, Elian. What's your favorite type of match? Your favorite type of match for you to have, and your favorite type of match to watch?
Well, my favorite type of match to have, I like singles matches. I feel like I can get more out of a singles match. More eyes are on me, and I can do my own thing instead of having to spread it out a bunch of people. Mm-hmm. Favorite matches to watch, I like any kind of stipulation match. It doesn't have to be a no rules match or anything like that. Just something out of the norm, because when you watch millions and millions of matches, anything different is good.
True.
I wanted to ask you about your ring entrance, because your ring entrance, it's electrifying. You just come out like a ball of fire, and the crowd is pumped up, and you're high-fiving everybody, and you get everybody going. I think of the Ultimate Warrior when I watch your entrance. Is that someone who might have influenced you to do a ring entrance like that?
Yeah, it's a little bit of that, but I also want to be more interactive. Warrior would run out, but he wouldn't acknowledge anybody, so I incorporated that, but I also wanted to be more fan-friendly with it. But I didn't used to always do that entrance. That's only been about 4 or 5 years now that I've been doing that. I used to be way too shy, and I didn't want to make eye contact with the fans. I would just get in the ring and start doing the moves. But I had to take about a year or so off of wrestling, and I'm when I come back, I gotta have a reason why people want to see me, because when I wasn't wrestling there for about a year or so, no one was talking about me, and I'm why am I so forgettable? What am I going to do that's not just the moves that's going to stand out? So I thought, what better way than when you first come out to make an impression?
Oh, wow. And that you do.
Yeah, and it caught on. If it wouldn't have caught on, I probably wouldn't still be doing it, but because the fans have made it, if they didn't want to hit my hands, I'd feel pretty stupid running around, but because they respond so well, it makes it a lot easier.
That you did get. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Michelle. I didn't mean to cut you.
It's quite a give and take, because you're excited to be there, and the fans are excited to see you. And if you didn't race around the ring the way you do, I don't think they'd be quite as. You bring the energy literally from the back right out to the ring. You bring it.
I think a lot of the wrestlers, they're serious. They're going out there. They want to make a good impression, show how good of a wrestler they are. But I think you need someone like me to show, hey, we're all here to have a good time. I'm doing the thing I love the most. So it's not a character. It really is how I feel. I'm excited to be there. It's the highlight of my month or week or whatever the case may be. And I'm just showing genuine emotion about how happy I am to be there, but also trying to bring them into it with me. Hey, we're allowed to have fun and cheer and stuff.
Now, you did get caught one time in Lenny Lilac about 2 months ago. He hid behind the ring. He gave you a clothesline. He looked like he looked like he really, really nailed you with that clothesline. Were you okay after that clothesline, or because it looked like you almost took your head off with that one?
Yeah, that was pretty rough. I was definitely sucking it up for the rest of the match. I was pretty lucky to come out with a win after that because I was definitely fighting from underneath for the rest of the match. But yeah, no, I've still felt the effects of that for a few days after.
Wow, and I know I've seen you 3 times against Kobe Durst. I said Lenny Lilac and most recently Kobe Christ. And you're 3-0, so you're undefeated in the matches that I've seen. So congratulations on that. How do you compare each opponent? How do you compare Kobe Durst to Lenny Lilac to Kobe Christ?
They're actually all so different. It's amazing that you got to see me against 3 just different opponents. I would say Kobe Durst has like a really fast-paced style where he's just going to throw everything at you and do every single big move he possibly can and try and wow the crowd with his amazing athleticism and skills, and he's really one of a kind. There's not too many people better than him. Where Lenny, I would say, is more of a showman. He knows how to manipulate the crowd and get what he wants out of them and really put on a good show that way. And Kobe is just like a mixture of both of them, and he's just he's so unique, and that's what I like about him because I feel like that's what I'm trying to be. He's just someone that stands out as being different. My kid even said he's like this villain in this video game that he plays. There's this Far Cry video game he plays, and I guess Kobe reminds him of him.
Oh.
Yeah, because
considering the roster or anyone else thinking of like everyone else we have on the PWA roster, Elian, who would you like to have a match with? Either someone you've had a match with before, you'd like to do it again, or anyone you're looking forward to having a match with this coming year maybe?
Well, I'm excited to wrestle anybody. That's my thing. I just love wrestling. On the PWA roster, I've wrestled quite a lot of them, and most of the ones I've wrestled, I would love to wrestle again. But I'm interested in seeing some of the newer guys that, I wrestled Clay Wilson once, and I really enjoyed that experience. And then in the upcoming show in March here, I'm facing Nolan and some other guy I've actually never heard of. So I'm always excited in those matches because I feel different opponents bring out different sides of me.
Yeah, I wanted. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off there, Michelle.
No, go ahead.
No, I wanted to ask you about. Well, first of all, Kobe Christ is a friend of mine, and he had nothing but kind words for you. He said you're one of the nicest guys he's met in the business, and he said it was a pleasure working with you. So he had very, very kind words for you. But I noticed during that match, you took a really high risk move where you were back on the ropes and you flipped backwards. That was a high risk move. Are you ever worried about getting injured doing moves like that?
Well, I mean, I am, but it's not enough to stop me from doing them. Okay. But I do worry that because I've had some injuries that have cost me a lot of ring time, so I don't want to do that. So that's why I tried to rely on my character to maybe get more out of it without doing too much, because back in like 2000 to 2008, I was doing a lot of reckless moves. So now I try and limit it to just like 1 or 2 a match, but it's not enough to stop me. I'm still going to do it, but I'm just trying to like limit it to not constantly.
All right, cool. I'll let you take the next question away, Michelle.
There's something I know that you do on the side. Has to do with wrestling, and I'd like to tell the fans a little bit about it. You've recorded some intros for a few different wrestlers. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh yeah, I have a huge passion for writing music. I have a huge passion for a lot of things, but just wrestling kind of is the king of them all. But I love writing music. I like writing poetry. I also like just writing like stories and stuff like that. And I even just like being creative. Like I had that one YouTube show I did for a year, the Willow Show, and I also just try and give back. Like I'm always trying to help the other wrestlers any way I can. So if it's something I enjoy doing and I can help someone out, then yeah, I just anything to keep me busy. I can't just sit here and pick my nails. I have to have some kind of creative juices flowing somehow.
So you create? I'm sorry. So you create music for other wrestlers? Is that what I'm understanding that correctly?
Yeah, I have in the past. Okay. I mean, I don't have like a great recording studio, so I just like do it with my computer and a microphone or like my phone. So it's never like high quality stuff, but it's just kind of like amateurish, I guess. But I put my all into it for sure. I've probably done like 50 songs. Sometimes I don't even do them just for wrestlers. I'll just do like a silly little wrestling rap about wrestling in general and stuff.
Okay. So who have been some of your favorite opponents? I know you've been around since, I think you said 2000. Who have been some of your favorite opponents over the last 19 years?
Well, the man you know as Super Kamikaze,
Yeah.
he used to wrestle as Sean Ball, and I actually retired Sean Ball, and we had a quite a phenomenal series of matches back in like 2007 to 2009. I've wrestled Eddie Osborne probably over 150 times. There's a guy that's not really active anymore, Jesse Jones, and we had a program for about 2 years, and I really enjoyed that. And some of my best matches that I still get praise for today were against Sean Spears, who is known in WWE as Ty Dillinger, but he just got released from WWE.
Okay.
But he used to be called Sean Spears, and I think that's what he's going to go as now that he's not Dillinger anymore.
Okay, cool. So you think we might see Sean Spears in PWA? We'll get another match against Sean Spears?
I could see him maybe coming to PWA, although I know his plate's really full already.
Okay.
That he's started accepting. Like, they have like 90 days where they can't work for any other promotions after they leave WWE.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think he's starting at like the end of May. He's allowed to start, and he's already got like a whole bunch of stuff lined up.
Okay.
But he does have family in Ontario, and he comes up and visits so often. So yeah, I could definitely see that panning out.
Well, you got to call him out. The next show, you got to call him out. Do a live call out of Sean Spears.
I think we'd make a good tag team because I think we're both like really good crowd favorites. I like to wrestle the guys that are hated. I hate when I have to wrestle other guys that are like, because I don't want to share my spotlight with them. I want all the cheers. Sure.
Well, you got them with Kobe Christ. He was, I think, 100% of the crowd was against. I will admit, I was for. So 99.9% of the crowd was against Kobe Christ, and 99.9% of the crowd was for you. Nothing against you, but he's a friend of mine, so I was rooting for Kobe Christ. I hope that's okay. But it was. They instantly took to you as soon as you come out. It's just you do a fantastic job in getting the crowd rallying behind you, man.
Well, yeah, it's also unfair. Like, I've been wrestling in the Alpine Club for like 4 years straight, and they know me. If it was in some other city or back home where Kobe's from, then maybe it'd be a difference. But there, they know my thing, and they're ready to see me.
All right, cool. Michelle, you got anything? Any other questions?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Your dream opponent, any living or dead, your dream opponent, the one match that you wish you could have someday.
Oh man. My favorite wrestler right now is Cesaro. I really love Cesaro. I think that he'd be someone amazing to have a match against. He can have a great match against everybody. So I think I'd pick him. He actually stayed at my house once back in like 2008 when he was Claudio Castagnoli in Ring of Honor. Yeah. And he's just a really, really great guy. And he's my favorite guy in WWE right now. I really wish that he'd get like a bit more of a spotlight.
So thoughts on All Elite Wrestling? You think the WWE has anything to worry about with All Elite Wrestling?
I think it's good. Like, it's just because I'm looking at it not from a fan's perspective. I'm looking at it from like the girls and guys perspective, and it's just so many more jobs and competition is good, I think. But it's just an exciting time. Like, not only is indies wrestling, like when I started, there was only like 4 promotions in Ontario, and sometimes there'd only be 20 people in the crowd. Now there's like 30 promotions in Ontario, and they're all getting hundreds of people. And I just think it's a good thing, and I'm just really excited to see how it's gonna unfold.
Yeah, you mentioned there are so many promotions. I know some of the PWA guys like Joey Allen and Super Kamikaze. They're actually working for Smash now. Is that something that you hope to do? That maybe get a few bookings on Smash?
To me, honestly, like my goals right now, I'm just trying to keep wrestling as long as I can. My body is getting to the point where it's saying, my brain is saying yes and my body is saying no. So I'll just take as much as I get for as long as I can do it. But yeah, I would love to work with any promotions, and Smash is a great promotion in itself.
Oh yeah, fantastic promotion. What do you got? Anything else, Michelle?
Yeah, I would like to know what's next for you. What's next for Cuba?
Oh man, I don't even know. Like I was just saying about the goals, like I don't look too far into the future, or like I already feel like I've achieved everything I'd ever wanted to achieve. I just always wanted to be a wrestler. I never my dream was never to be like, oh, I have to be in WWE or anything like that. Of course, any of that stuff would be nice, but I've been living my dream for 19 years, and I just want to keep doing it. As far as like accolades and winning championships and that kind of stuff, that's not important to me. To me, the respect is important to me. I'm desperately seeking the respect, and my dad was never one to really ever say he was proud of me or anything, so when people compliment me on anything, that's what I crave. So I just want to keep doing it, and I don't want to be forgotten about, and I just want to be in the conversation. I just want people to talk about me and hopefully say good things.
So, but
I guess that's not a really good answer to your question. I don't know what's next for me. Just keep doing what I'm doing and trying to get better at what I'm doing.
Right in the wave.
So if you could work for one promotion, they said, Elian, you could just choose any promotion that you could work for tomorrow, which promotion would it be?
I feel I'd fit in best with WWE right now with my character, because I feel like I'm not the kind of guy that can go out there and have 45-minute matches like a Josh Alexander. I mean, I could, but then my career would be cut a lot shorter. I mean, the guys on Raw and SmackDown, they only get 7 to 10 minutes for a match, and they're trying to tell a story. I feel like with my character, I could do that and get sympathy, and I feel like I could really fit in my slot. If I got a time slot and I got 10 minutes on a show every week, I think that I could do real well for myself.
So we're not going to see
Plus, they're the highest paying too, right?
Sure. Well, I mean, All Elite Wrestling, they're throwing a lot of money around, so you could make a decent living with them as well.
And to look back at your other question where you say, do you think they're competition for WWE? I think they could be, but I think it's like back in the WCW, they got Hogan, but it was still like 2 or 3 years before they actually competed with WWE. So I see All Elite with a bright future, but I still think it's going to be a year or two before they iron out everything and really get going where they could actually take a run at that.
All right. You mentioned Iron Man matches, so I'm guessing we won't see any Josh Alexander, Elian Habanero Iron Man matches anytime soon.
Oh, I mean, I'd be up for it. I'm just saying, I don't think that's my thing. I think,
okay.
To me, less is more. I always want to leave them wanting more. I don't want to give them everything I possibly can give them in one night, one match kind of thing. And plus, for my body, I'm looking at longevity now too. I'm not in the shape Josh Alexander's in. You know, he's just a phenomenal athlete.
Well, Holden Albright just did a 60-minute Iron Man match with him. I think you're in better shape than Holden Albright. No,
not even close.
No.
I wrestled Holden Albright, and you can't judge a book by its cover. He is also an incredible shape and athlete and cardio and stuff like that. And I could not hold a candle to either of those two guys when it comes to that. But I feel I can keep up with either of them in the ring.
Okay.
I've wrestled both of them in the past.
Okay, cool. Because I know Holden Albright, not too long ago, he had a chicken nugget eating competition that he had on Facebook. So that's what I'm thinking about, him eating the chicken nuggets and then trying to do the Iron Man match. So that's why I figured that you're in better shape than Holden Albright. But I better keep quiet because he's actually coming on the show tomorrow. I don't want to get him upset. So so
I have one more.
Yep, go right ahead.
Elian, when you look back at your career in PWA, is there a favorite moment or memory that you have that stands out? Someone were to ask you what if you had a chance to tell one story that you really were it was so special to you and you were so glad to be a part of in PWA. What is that?
Well, I'm not going to say you and me, Michelle. I heard the podcast that you and Lewis had. I really enjoyed listening to that, and that was a great moment. But it would not be my favorite one. My favorite is always going to be, I don't know if people will say it's my best match or not. To me, it was my best match. It was the biggest moment. I don't think I'll ever top it. I'll never get to that level again. Is the retirement match against Reggie Marley. The man that I have so much respect for, and I couldn't sleep for like weeks leading up to this match, and me and Reggie Marley had a match where whoever lost had to retire. And if my career had to end that day and I did lose, I'd be totally happy with it. It was just unreal.
I saw that match. It was good.
All right.
An emotional evening.
I want to ask. I know
Yeah.
I was looking on Cage Match, and I saw that you used to be a tag team with Lenny Lilac, but now you're kind of feuding. Well, what's the history there? What happened? Did you guys were a tag team and you broke up? I guess he turned on you. Why don't we get a little bit of the history between Elian Habanero and Lenny Lilac?
Well, Lenny Lilac used to be a good guy. He used to be really positive. He reached out to me, constantly giving me positive vibes and just making me feel good about myself. And there was it just randomly happened one time. There was like a tag team tournament and there was no champions, or maybe there was, I can't remember. And, someone said, "Hey, you guys don't have a match. Why don't you team up?" And we both really liked each other and we enjoyed being around each other. So we went and did it, and we ended up winning the belts, and I think we kept him for almost a year there, and we were on a heck of a run, and we both actually never got pinned for those titles. But then Lenny Lilac turned into a jerk, and he won't return my calls, and he's just... So that's where we stand, It's sad the way it turned out, but I still have fond memories of the past.
All right, because that was actually a good match with him. It was 2 months ago. I think everyone's favorite spot is when you rode him like a horse. I think that was a cool spot there, man.
Yeah.
Any other questions you have? I have one more. Any other questions you might have, Michelle?
No, that was my big finale one.
All right. Well, I have a big finale one as well. You posted on Facebook, maybe I think it was a day or two ago, asking if you could be in a vehicle for 12 hours with an indie star, someone from a major promotion, and somebody that's deceased, a wrestler that's deceased, who would it be? I don't think you answered that question. I was just curious what your answers to those questions would be.
Oh man. Oh geez, I don't even really think about it. I was just trying to get people talking because I find if I talk about myself, not as many people will comment on it. So I feel like if I ask people to talk about themselves, they're more than willing to talk about themselves. And then if I get 100 comments and then 2 days later I share a picture of the next show I'm doing, then all those 100 people will probably see it since they like my last post. So that's kind of the method to my madness about Facebook posting.
Okay.
To answer your question, geez. That's a tough one. Indie wrestler, let's see, that I would like to ride with and learn from. There's so many. I've actually had the privilege of riding with a lot of great guys and getting a lot of good advice, and I really enjoy that. Let's see. I don't know what you would consider indie. Would you consider Ring of Honor or Impact or any of those indie? I don't know if those would be considered indie.
So why don't we just do this? Just someone alive and someone deceased. So we'll keep it at two.
Okay. Well, I guess like I said, Cesaro would be my guy. He's someone, I just feel like he really just gets the business so good, and I feel he's just extremely underrated, and I feel like 12 hours with him, I would learn so much. I would learn more than I've learned in the last couple of years. Deceased, oh, that's a tough one. I never thought about it. I guess I should have been prepared. I should have thought if anyone ever asked me this question.
Sorry to put you on the spot like that, like this, Elian.
No. I'm sorry that I can't come up with something. Let's see here. I think maybe Mr. Perfect.
Okay.
I think
that's a good choice.
He would, not only does he, like a lot of the wrestlers say they learned a lot from him, but he's also had some incredible like ribs and stuff like that. I just think what a conversation that would be. It'd just be quite phenomenal. And as far as I'll even answer the indie one. I've rode with Joey Allen so many times. He's driven me to lots of shows, and I could put up with him for 12 hours in a car. I really enjoy that guy.
Okay, yeah, my deceased guy was Roddy Piper. Is my idol, my favorite, all-time favorite wrestler. I would love to sit in a car for 12 hours with Roddy Piper.
Mine's
man,
that would have been
both great choices.
Yeah,
I just finished reading Piper's book. Actually, I really enjoyed that.
Well, what about you, Michelle? Well, let's let Michelle answer the question as well. So, deceased and alive, if you could ride with someone for 12 hours, who would it be?
Deceased would be Eddie Guerrero, for sure.
Okay.
Ask him all about the different runs he's had and different promotions and the teams that he's been with, because he's touched on so many, and I think that would be really interesting. And like famous and alive right now? That is a good question. Actually, Becky Lynch.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Especially right now where she's at the height of her popularity, too.
Mm-hmm. Love to hear her perspective on what she's been through and what she went through to get to where she is now.
Wow, great choices.
And she really fought for it. Like, she was not one that they picked and said, we're going to make something of her. She had to do it herself.
Yeah, she had to prove. Mm-hmm.
Gotta love that.
Great choice. Well, my major promotion, Indy Kobe Christ, and the other choice, major promotion, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Tama Tonga. I think it would be great to ride in a car with Tama Tonga for 12 hours. I'm sure he's got a lot of stories to tell.
Oh yeah, and Kobe's so knowledgeable. Like you could learn he should do seminars. Like I know he has a school out east where he teaches people, but his knowledge of the business is really incredible, and anybody could learn anything from him.
I think you mentioned that he was very easy to work with as well when I talked to you at the show.
Here's a great story for you. You were being so kind and giving us praise about how much you liked the match with me and Kobe Christ that just happened recently.
Yeah.
That man was sick as a dog that day. He had the flu.
Yeah.
He had like diarrhea. He was puking like 10 minutes before our match.
Yeah, he was
Yet
telling
no one
me.
would have known that. What a guy. It's just incredible to know that.
He was telling me.
If you watched that match and you thought, oh, that was a good match, knowing how he felt, he couldn't even stay out of the bathroom. He was so sick. Yeah. And then just to go out there and give a performance like that, I'll never have anything but respect for him after that.
Very, very professional. Yeah, he told me. I was like, oh my goodness, really that bad? And he was determined to go out there and put on a good match.
Yeah, you would never know.
He missed a production meeting because he was in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
You would never know he was sick though, because he told me afterwards that how sick he was, but you could never tell that he was sick. He did such a terrific job, man.
Yeah, truly professional.
Yeah, I hope he's back. I hope he's back at PWA. I would love to see him back there, and I'm sure he will be. But I'd love to have him back.
He lives for this. He's gonna go wherever. He's gonna constantly travel for this. He's got the bug, and he's not gonna stop.
All right, that's cool. I hope he never stops. He's a very, very talented, very, very talented wrestler, man. All right, so I think I'm out of questions. You said you're out of questions as well, Michelle. Why don't we go into the shows then that are upcoming?
Let's do it.
All right, why don't we start with the women's show? You know a lot more about that than I do. Maybe I'll let you take it away. I know it's March 29th in Guelph. There's the other show that's March, I think it's 16th in Kitchener. Yeah. But let's start with the 29th show. I'll let you take it away.
It's a really interesting show. It just sold out. So there's no tickets left, unfortunately. So for anyone who's listening, you can keep in touch with the Red Chevron in Guelph and see if any tickets could become available again. But as of right now, it is sold out, which is awesome.
Okay.
But what it is, it's a PWA in connection with the Queen of Craft, Gorgeous Ladies of Brew event, which is a little acronym we came up with. But what it is, it's women's matches, so 5 women's matches on the show, and each woman will represent a brew, a beer, and essentially the brews and the beers will be pitted against one another, and the winner who wins the match, their brew wins the match as well. So the proceeds to this event, it's a charity event. It goes to the Guelph Wellington Women in Crisis, and it's a really interesting idea for an event. It's like I said, all women. I'm announcing the show. I have a co-host for that one as well, to talk the brewery side of it. And so it's all ladies putting on a whole show. I'm very excited about it because I don't think there's ever been anything done like this before. But very interesting. So the ticket holders will get to watch the whole show and to try all of the beers that each of the ladies represent in their matches of the evening. So I think it's going to be really different and exciting, and I can't wait. I'll make sure to tape some clips and be uploading throughout the event to keep everyone informed as the show happens for the people who can't make it out.
Okay. Do we know which beer the women are representing yet, or that hasn't been announced yet?
No, that hasn't been announced.
I'm curious to find out which beer Jody Threat is representing. So
I know, right? Interesting. I don't know. I know the ladies know because they all get the chance to actually brew the beer they represent.
Oh, wow. Okay.
To be in on the actual brewing of it. So really interesting for them as well. So, and it's, I mean, when do you get a chance to brew a beer as a wrestler? So that's a pretty neat, I think, thing to be able to get to do. So
it's so unique. Like,
yeah.
I mean, for people that are into drinking beer, you get to sample all these great local beers and support local and have a good time and, you know, get a little bit gassed up off the beer. And then you get some beautiful ladies, plus you get some phenomenal wrestling action. And then also you get one of the best ring announcers in the whole world, Michelle.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with this. This is going to be unbelievable. And I would imagine that this is not going to be a one-time occurrence.
Oh, I hope not. I hope not.
Are all proceeds are going to charity for this one as well, right?
Yes, everything to the Guelph Women in Crisis.
Right,
so
that's awesome.
30. Yeah, I'll
awesome.
keep everyone informed as it goes on, and I'm sure there'll be photos afterward and do my little video clips like I usually do. So I'm really excited. I know it's still several weeks away, but very much looking forward to that.
And none of the matches are announced yet. Is that correct? Or
no,
just
it's
the
not
women,
been
the women
announced
are
yet.
there.
But stay tuned.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
There's 10 ladies, yes, women wrestlers that are going to be there. But no, it hasn't been fully disclosed yet. So stay tuned, though.
Okay, and it's great that it's sold out too. That's fantastic. Mm-hmm. That's going to be a tremendous event. It's a shame I can't go. I would love to go to that, but unfortunately I won't be available on the 29th. But no, it sounds like it's going to be a great event for a great cause. So I'm glad it's sold out.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome
yes,
stuff.
And so the month before, practically a month in advance, sold out.
All right, so cool.
No, maybe we need a bigger venue next time.
I'm sorry. I didn't.
Maybe we need a bigger venue next time.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Make a big event.
Is Beautiful Bia going to be on the show?
Beautiful Bia is not on the show.
Oh, she's not on the show. Okay.
She is otherwise engaged, but CC Moss is on the show. We have Nova, Jody Threat.
Okay. I think Casey Spinelli as well, right?
Casey Spinelli, yes,
okay.
Yep. The Queen of Horror, Sabrina Kyle is going to be on it. So no matter what, it's going to be a phenomenal night.
All right, sounds great. All right, should we shift gears to the 16th? Let's shift gears because, again, I'm going to be in New York for this, and I know Elian, I posted on Facebook that you had a little sad face. I'm going to miss that. The main event's going to be freaking phenomenal. Josh Alexander against the Pure Rounds champion Kobe Durst. What are your thoughts on that one, Michelle?
Oh, I think this is going to be interesting because after what happened when Kobe Durst won the championship in Guelph last week, that was I'm sorry, when Josh, when Kobe Durst won it, it was shocking.
Yeah.
It was. I didn't think anyone saw. Did you see the little clips that we shared? What happened with Josh and Gold School?
I have not seen the clips.
Josh Alexander.
So what happened?
Got into pushing Old School, and Old School bounced back, and he ended up clotheslining him and took Josh out of the match. So that was interesting. No, I don't think anyone saw that coming, and so this is a bit of an interesting, potentially a bit of a grudge match. But I'm very excited to see what will happen because I know they're going to put on a great match. They already have. And I know everyone's looking forward to it, but the tables have turned, so exciting.
Yeah, no, anytime these two get together, they have great chemistry. They had the Iron Man match. They wrestled so many times for Alpha One. This is going to be a fantastic match. Elian, what do you think when you see this type of main event?
Well, I've seen them wrestle probably upwards of 10 times, and I've never seen them have a bad match. But just to sum it up for you, when these guys wrestle, not only do the fans get into it, all the wrestlers go and watch because they want to see and they want to learn. And there's not too many people in Ontario or the world that can have a match like those two guys can have.
Yeah, they're like perfect opponents for each other. The chemistry is just tremendous. Like I said, anytime they get together, it's a freaking phenomenal match. And I hope you said it's going to be videotaped, so I hope the match gets on YouTube or something really quick. Cause that's one match I want to see, but like I said, unfortunately I'm going to be in New York, so I won't be able to see it, but I really hope it gets up on YouTube or something, really soon.
They usually do, but I wouldn't go with soon.
Okay. Well, eventually, then that's good enough for me. Then, as long as it gets up within the next 5 years, I'll be happy.
Yeah, because there's plenty of matches that I've had that I still want to see that are in the works, but they do you always get out there eventually.
Okay. I'll take like I usually do, and I'll make sure you see those.
All right, sure. Sounds good. I'm going to hold you to that. Michelle. And you're on the show, of course, Elian. Nolan Pink, who I think is a really, really good wrestler, and Corey Storm. You said you haven't heard of him. I never heard of him either. But what's what are your thoughts going into this triple threat match?
I'm really excited. I know Nolan. I've actually been in the ring with him before. And the other guy, I try to do my research and find out as much as I could. He's really young too. I think he's only 17 or 18. But I love wrestling those kind of guys because they're so hungry, and it brings out the hunger in me. Because when you wrestle people that are complacent, that are stuck in the same old thing, it's not so exciting anymore. But when you wrestle young up and comers that are really just trying to make a name for themselves, and in turn that brings out the best in you, I feel. And three-way matches are really dynamic. They're fast-paced. There's usually always something going on. And I really feel like that we have a chance to have a really incredible match that people will be talking about for many months and years after.
All right. What are your thoughts on this one, Michelle?
Oh, I like triple threat matches. They're interesting. Like Elian was saying, they're dynamic, just different. A singles match with an extra little flavor thrown in. So,
sure.
Since we haven't seen Corey Storm, anytime we get some new blood in PWA, I'm really excited to see what they're going to bring to the show and how everyone's going to respond to them. So I'm looking forward to that. Anytime you have a new person, I'm paying attention.
Okay, there you go. So, Elian, I'm going to ask you, give us your prediction on this match. I know you think you're going to win, but give us a prediction anyway.
On my match?
On your match, yeah.
Oh, absolutely, I'm going to win.
Of course.
I don't usually lose in the Alpine Club. It's because of the fans. I just get a lot of times in my matches, the offense, it's like 80-20. Like, I'm only getting in 4 or 5 moves, but I can't quit because the fans don't allow me to, and I feel that'll be the case as well this time.
Yeah, no, I pick you to win as well. Nolan Pink has a shot, but I'm picking you to win this match. But let me ask Michelle, Alexander and Durst, who do you got in that one? I should have asked you earlier.
Well, I'm a fan of both, but I've always had a special place for Josh Alexander, so I'm going to stick with Josh Alexander.
I'm going to disagree. I'm going with Durst, 100%. What do you think, Elian? Who's going to win that one?
Well, I hate to agree with you, Lewis. Well, actually, I don't, but I agree. I feel Josh has got so much going on right now that his focus is not really on the PWA Pure Violence Championship, where he's got to learn how to get into Impact and do all that stuff. I feel he's a bit distracted. But personally, the reason I'm choosing Kobe Durst is because I pin Kobe Durst, so I feel if he wins that maybe I'll get a shot at that title. So that's why I'm picking Kobe Durst.
Actually, I meant to ask you, during your match with Kobe Durst, after the match was over, you got up and you ran to the back really fast. I was wondering if you had gotten hurt during that match. As soon as the match was over...
Absolutely, I did.
Okay, because I was wondering, you disappeared. As soon as the match was over, you just ran right to the back, you were gone. I was like, I think you might have gotten hurt.
Yes, absolutely I did. And I was just lucky to get through that and somehow get the victory. Man.
Well, yeah.
But I was pretty rough for about a week or two after that.
Okay, well, glad you're okay after that. One thing I noticed about this show, there's no temple. Is there any specific reason why there's no Lilac or Jeff Black or Tex Lexus on this card?
I believe they have a big meeting. There's a temple meeting down in Texas with Texas. I don't know if he's like the mayor of Texas. I guess he's not the mayor, like the senator. He's such a great businessman that he owns a lot of stuff in Texas, and because of that, I don't know if they're building like a temple, like kind of like a church, I guess, or like something to do with worshiping the temple, and they have a big convention. And that's not good because, yeah, they're missing this show, but when they come back for the other shows, they're just going to come back even stronger.
Okay.
But as far, from what I've heard, I mean, I'm not socializing with the Temple, but, you know, the other wrestlers talk and everything. So it's something to do with that. They have some kind of Temple meeting down in Texas.
Yeah, and also I was talking to Tex Lexus, and I mentioned, Michelle, that I'm doing the show with you, and he was like, well, if you want somebody intelligent to do the show, just give me a call. But so I might bring him on. You two are gonna have to, you know, hash things out on the show. But you know, I defended you though, Michelle. I defended you. So well, we'll see. Well, he might be a future guest on the show if you're okay with that.
Oh man.
Oh
no.
Okay. I've had debates with these gentlemen before, so I'm no stranger to it. But I am concerned. You know, a whole show not only without the Temple, but without the PWA commissioner. I think Tex Lexus has got his hands into a lot of pots, and his focus is no longer on the PWA. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Okay.
All I'm hearing is that the show is going downhill ever since my appearance. If you're having him on.
No. Well, I nothing's confirmed yet. So he mentioned it, but I haven't confirmed anything. So I'll clear it with Michelle, and I'll clear it with you too, Elian. Just I don't want it to go down. I want the show to go up. Right? I want.
He would be a great guest, but I don't want to hear what he has to say.
Okay. Right. So the feud between you and the Templar is far from over, then, huh, Elian?
Oh yeah. No, I mean. I'm gonna spit on their graves when they die. Like,
okay.
Okay. They've made an enemy for life with me, to be quite honest.
Okay, that's a little extreme, but okay, that's well, as long as me and you remain friends, that's all that I'm concerned about. So, and like I said, I'm very pleased that you recognize me at the show. And when you just say, "Hey, Lewis, how's it going?" I was like, "Wow, you recognize me." So, I guess I'm in Elian Habanero's good books right now.
Oh, absolutely. You're doing so much for wrestling. You're supporting everybody that's out there doing it. And those kind of people mean the world to me because, without, a Lewis or even a Michelle as well, I actually did an episode on my, I had a YouTube show called The Heart and Soul. And it was about the people that make the shows that are not the wrestlers, like the announcers, the people that take tickets at the door, the sound man, the people that set up the ring. And Lewis, you would be included in that category because out of your own goodness of your own heart, look how much you're doing to support indie wrestling in Ontario and get the word out to other people. And that's incredible.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
That's true.
So we have other matches to talk about. The Tag Team Championship, Fight or Flight, Vaughn Vertigo and Gabrielle Foreza, I hope I pronounced that correctly, versus El Reverso and Super K. That's going to be an absolutely phenomenal match. What do you think about that one, Michelle? There's going to be a lot of high flying moves in that one.
A lot of high flying moves. I feel like they will be somewhat limited with the ceiling and the Alpine, of course, but I don't think that will stop them. I'm very excited to see that match. We haven't had Fight or Flight in the house in a very long time, so this is the perfect time to bring them in against the champions, the Super Reversos. I think it's a good match. Yes, good idea. I'm glad.
Yeah, it's going to be a terrific match. Elian, are you gonna be watching this one from the back? This is going to be just spot after spot after spot. This is going to be absolutely phenomenal.
Oh yeah, like how evenly matched are these two teams? I don't think anyone can pick a winner, and if they are, they're just guessing because it's like so close. And I'm excited to see the Super Reversals are actually going to get their titles presented to them because they have to be shipped from BC. So they're finally going to get to have some pictures taken with the titles and stuff like that. So for that reason, I'm going to pick the Super Reversos because they have the hometown crowd. Yeah. And I feel like because they're finally getting presented with their titles that night, I think they'll be on like a high from that and will hopefully pull out the win. But I think the winner from this is just going to be the fans that see such incredible action.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I agree with you. I think Reverso and Super K will retain the titles. I'm sorry, I didn't mean I think I might have cut you off. You were saying something there, Michelle. I apologize.
No, I agree. I think that I can't wait to see them get their titles either. And again, with the commissioner not in the house, hopefully that will fall to me and maybe Joe Dog as well to present that together to them. Hopefully at the beginning of the show, I'll make a big deal about it too, because that is a big deal. They didn't have their titles when they won them, and I'd like to make that special for them. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that moment, just to see the looks on their faces.
Well, you really want that commissioner job back, don't you, Michelle?
Oh man, she deserves it, Lewis. I don't know, like, I know you have only been recently following PWA, and Michelle was the best commissioner. The fans handpicked Michelle. She was one of them, and Michelle, I mean, she worked really hard at everything she did, but it was the fans that really gave her spot. And no offense to Michelle for that. Like I said, she worked really hard and she deserved everything she got. But it was the fans that decided that, and I don't believe that vote for 1 minute that Tex won. I mean, he could have won the vote, but I'm sure it was rigged or he paid people because he has money to throw around. But organically, I don't feel he won. And Michelle is just, the people want her, and the people deserve her.
Well, what do we do? How do we get you back? How do we get you back as commissioner? Let's start a campaign right now, the three of us.
Yes, let's start a petition. Yeah. Yes, a petition. Let's do it. Because Tex Leckis is biased. When Michelle was commissioner, she wasn't running a group of... She interfered in one match with me, but that was not biased. That was doing the right thing because other people were trying to be biased, and she never brought herself into that situation. She was brought into it, sorry. And where Tex is, he's got to pick one or the other, either the temple or the commissioner. It's a conflict of interest.
Very much so, agreed. And PWA deserves it. And I love how you put that, Elian. It's the fans who decided, and that's exactly what I did it for. And I feel now I have so much more experience and knowledge behind me that I could do an even better job. So why not?
Yeah. And even on the podcast with you and Lewis that you did like a week or two ago, you even said Tex hasn't been doing a bad job. I'm not saying that. He's bringing some incredible talent like Carlito and Homicide and PJ Black and whatnot. But it's just, he does okay business, but he's got to choose. It's either one or the other for me. He can't do both. I don't feel that's right.
Agreed. 100% agreed.
All right. Well, let's get that petition started, and we'll get we'll get you back, Michelle. We'll get you back as commissioner. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'll type it up tonight, and I'll when I go to my next show, I'll hand it out to all the fans. And who would I give it to? Who's running the show there at PWA?
Ooh, well, that would be Eddie Osborne out of BC.
Okay. So I would have to. I could send him a message on Facebook then. To get you back. Other matches we got John Atlas against Joey Allen. Did I say Joe? No, John Atlas versus Joey Allen. That's going to be a really, really good singles match as well. What are your thoughts on that one, Michelle?
I saw Relentless John Atlas. We had him on the show in Guelph. Relentless John Atlas. And that was my first time seeing him up close and in action, and I think this is a great idea to bring him against the product of German engineering, Joey Allen. I think they'll have a great match, and again, I think the card is actually quite exciting. I'm looking forward to all the matches, and it'd be great to see. I'm not 100% sure in my history with PWA. We haven't seen Relentless John Atlas at Alpine Club. I may be wrong if he's ever been there before, but interested to see what the PWA universe thinks of him in the Alpine Club.
Well, he took on Kobe Christ in Guelph, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Great match.
Who won that? Did Kobe win that match, or was it John Atlas?
It was John Atlas.
John Atlas. Okay. Well, Kobe was sick.
One with an electric chair drop.
Okay, that's poor Kobe. He was sick. That's why he lost the match, man. But this should be. I don't know all that much about John Atlas. I've heard the name. I haven't seen him really wrestle, but Joey Allen is tremendous. So it should be a really, really good match. What are your are you familiar with both wrestlers, Elian?
I absolutely am familiar with both wrestlers.
Okay.
John Atlas. He is quite a specimen. He has done a lot of stuff in wrestling really well. He's competed in such high-level matches, and people know his name. He's been on a lot of really top-tier shows and whatnot. And like you said, he beat Kobe Christ, and I know Kobe was sick, but any wrestler that loses to John Atlas should not feel any resentment about that because he really is good at what he does in the ring. I just feel like Joey Allen, he wants his title back so bad, and he kind of, like, it was kind of weird, the last match with him and Easy, and I feel like he needs to get his title back, and plus Joey Allen is the master of the low roof at Alpine Club, so I feel maybe if it was somewhere else that maybe John Atlas could pull out the victory, but I feel in the Alpine Club, Joey Allen will get it.
Okay. All right, I agree with you again. I think Joey Allen will win the match. And prediction, Michelle, are you with Joey Allen, or are you going to?
I agree.
Okay.
No, I agree with you with both of you. However, I do think Joey Allen's got a little bit of a run for his money. He may have to work for this one.
Okay.
So.
Oh yeah.
Good too.
Absolutely.
And do you think he's going to get his title back anytime soon from Eric Carney?
Joey Allen?
Joey Allen, yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. He's not, his title reign is not over yet. Absolutely. I have no worries about him having another belt around his waist.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, like, he wasn't really adoring himself to the fans for a while there, and then he did the right move. He actually, when the Temple started and they turned on Bia and me and they cut Bia's hair, Joey Allen actually came out and made the save, even though he was kind of being a dink before that. And the fans have really forgiven everything he's done and really got behind him. And I feel like that will play a big factor as well, having the crowd support.
Yeah. I mean, Joey Allen's a grand champion as well. He's held literally every title in the PWA, so I don't see that it's over for him at all. I just think the sky's the limit.
Oh yeah, and he's in really, really good shape too. I think his biceps are bigger than my head. But he's really, really good shape.
He is, yes.
Yeah. So, go ahead. I'm sorry.
He's another very passionate wrestler. He loves what he does, and he's there to put on a great match, and he does just that. So.
Yeah, he does that each and every time. And I want to ask you about you were in it was a fatal 4-way match for the title in Guelph. Last month that you were involved in, Elian. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that match? Because I was kind of hoping you were going to win the title, so you would be defending the title against Kobe Christ. But why don't you tell us a little bit about that one, about the Fatal 4-Way?
Absolutely. It was Eric Carney and Joey Allen and myself and Addie Starr. And it was a really good match. And I did not get pinned, so I did not technically lose, but I also did not win the title, which was a little disappointing. Eric Kearney pulled out the win with some shenanigans, and respect to him. He wants the title so bad, and he's willing to do whatever he takes to get it, and I get that. I would myself, I would not sink to that level to get the championship. If I win it, I want to do it the right way. And so I'll wait for that opportunity. I'll wait for the opportunity to win it the right way. So, yes, I was disappointed, but, there's going to be plenty more of opportunities to come.
All right, there you go. I think we have two other matches. Brandon Jacobs against Warhead, and Lance Malibu and Clay Wilson against... I'm looking at the website. Is it Battersby? Battersby and Matt Mounty?
Yeah, Bruiser Battersby, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar with Matt Mounty or Bruiser Battersby. Michelle or Elian, are you familiar with any of those two?
Oh yes, we've had them on the shows before.
Okay.
So I think the interesting team up. I'm sure they've tagged before, but this should be interesting to see both wrestlers. Very good. Bruiser Battersby is really great at some of the high flying moves. Very tall wrestler.
Okay.
So I think it's going to give Lance Malibu and Clay Wilson a bit of a run, another run for the money, because these guys are young and hungry, and Lance is just freshly back. So, we shall see.
Yeah, we'll see. Actually, they're really good heels, Malibu and Clay Wilson. They really get the crowd riled up. What's your take on the match there, Elian?
I just believe that Malibu and Clay Wilson will win just because this is going to be their third time tagging up, and they've had a chance to kind of iron out some of the kinks. And they didn't win, but they've they've kind of got some chemistry going and whatnot, where I believe Matthew Metty and Bruiser Battersby will be their first time teaming up. And Clay Wilson, I don't really agree with his tactics and whatnot, but I'm a huge Clay Wilson fan. And I really feel he's underrated, and a lot of people should be paying a lot more attention to him than he gets. So I'm going to go with them, but I have to think that it's going to be a great contest.
All right. And what about Jacobs and Warhead? I thought Warhead was the number one contender now for the Pure Violence Championship. He is,
but I believe Josh gets his rematch first, then because
that's how it works.
Okay, so if he loses to Brandon Jacobs, then Jacobs becomes the number one contender. Is that correct? Or
I don't know, because I don't know if it's a Pure Violence match. Is it just a singles match, or is it a Pure Violence match?
No, it says Pure Violence match on the website. I'm looking at the website. Pure Violence match.
Maybe.
Battle of Kitchener. Brandon Jacobs versus Warhead.
Well, I don't know what the contract states. I don't know if for sure if Brandon Jacobs defeats Warhead that he will take his place as the number one contender.
Okay.
But I gotta imagine if he did win, that he would be in the conversation.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we're going to see a Warhead against Kobe Durst in April. So that's something to look for. And also, Elite Women's Championship, Beautiful Bia says versus TBA. So I guess she doesn't have an opponent yet, or do you know if an opponent has been named yet for her?
No. Oh yeah, TBA. She's been doing amazing. That TBA, watch out for her.
It covers all angles.
Okay.
Yes.
You had me for a split second there. I was like, did I miss? Oh no,
sorry.
TBA.
Yes.
Okay. So maybe it's
Years.
But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe Madison Miles will come back. That was a really good Q&A. Great guest to have for a Q&A. Actually, is there going to be a Q&A on this show as well?
Yeah, never say never. Just like last time.
Okay.
So, website doesn't mean it won't happen. So I'm not sure who it will be with yet, but I do have a couple of ideas.
Okay.
So I'm going to put those at PWA Management and see which one they bite at. But I do have a couple of new ideas up my sleeve to see who we can do a Q&A with, because the fans really seem to be enjoying them. So I'd like to keep doing them. Whether we have, we're bringing in a big name talent or not. I think there's a lot of people in PWA that people want to hear from. So
I would like to see a face-off one. Like, you do the Q&As. Imagine having like two people that are maybe in a feud with each other, and they come out, and then Michelle like moderates, like, you know how like in WWE they do the contract signings, not a contract signing, but maybe something where Michelle is the moderator and fans ask the questions, and maybe they have like a face-off where Michelle kind of sees where it's going from there, kind of thing. Something like that would be great. Yeah.
I like it.
We could do it with you. We could do it with you, Elian and Lenny Lilac. Why don't we do that? You guys could do that. That would be great.
I don't know. I get really scared in front of the live microphones.
What about we'll have somebody else host the Q&A, and it could be you, Michelle, against Tex Lexus.
Right. That would be very interesting.
That would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just love being around Michelle, so I would never say no to an opportunity to being out there with her.
All right, that sounds good.
Then maybe.
That sounds good. Well, I would say Josh Alexander, because he just signed with Impact. That would be a fantastic guest, actually, if you could get him to do a Q&A.
True. Yes, he's got a lot to talk about right now. Yes, for sure.
Generally, not he's more so a man of few words, but I think now, maybe he's ready to share his story with us, and I would welcome the chance to have a Q&A with him.
All right.
Yes, and he's been doing a lot of media lately because of his Impact signing, so he's like you said, he's a man of few words, but he's just having to do it whether he wants to or not, so he would be interesting. I'm not saying he would do it or not, but it would be great to see him do it.
Okay, not that I'm tooting my own horn, but I did interview him on last Tuesday, so I have that podcast coming out in a week or two. So I did have him on the show, and he was a tremendous guest to have.
Lovely man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that show. I was just very, very fortunate that he did the show, and looking forward for that one to come out. So in closing, do you guys have anything else you want to talk about?
No, I just want to say this is the Ontario Wrestling Ringside Roundup. Please turn the sound up. Here's your hosts, Louis and Michelle. They got lots of stories to tell.
I love it.
We don't even have to say anything, Michelle. You should come on every month, and you could do the intro and you could do the closing for us. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, if I ever can't wrestle anymore, I'm definitely going to transition into talking about wrestling. I'll tell you that much.
It's the Ontario Ringside Roundup. I think you said Ontario Wrestling Ringside Roundup. Just Ontario Ringside Roundup. So that's what it's called.
I can do it again if you want me to do it again.
Yeah, let's do it again. I think you should do it again, Michelle.
Okay.
I think you should do it again.
Okay.
Do it again. Do it again.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Ontario Ringside Roundup. Please turn the sound up with your hosts Lewis and Michelle. They got lots of stories to tell.
There you go. That's fantastic.
That's great.
That's great. I'm gonna edit that out, and I'm gonna keep it forever. And we're just gonna play it at the end of every show, with your permission, of course. I want to stay on your good side, Elian.
No, absolutely. I want to help you guys get to where you need to be because you're doing a great service for all of Ontario wrestling.
Well, I appreciate that. That's
yes.
Great words. Okay, if that's it, let's just wrap it up. And I don't even have to wrap it. I was going to wrap it up, but I think you've already wrapped it up for us,
I think you did. So
on that note, I'm going to say, thank you everybody for listening to Ontario Ringside Roundup. You want to say goodbye, Michelle?
Goodbye, Lewis.
All right. Goodbye, Michelle. Goodbye, Elian. Thank you for joining us today. Anytime you want to come back, you're always welcome. It was an absolute pleasure talking to you today, Elian.
Thank you
so much. Be careful what you wish for, because you may never ever get rid of me.
Oh, you know what? I would love to have you forever. I would love to have you forever, Elian. So it's
all right. I look forward to the contract in the mail.
Okay. I don't send mail. I'll email it to you, but not actual mail. But I have to go to my lawyer first. He has to look it over first before I send it to you, and then we'll get you the contract. I can't pay you any money, but I hope that's okay.
One of the best shows ever, and I can, years from now, I can got the claim to fame to say I was the first guest. Amazing.
Thank you so much for taking time out today, Elian, to speak with us. We both decided that you were the first person we wanted to have on. It was a mutual decision, so I'm so glad you were able to.
Oh, that's a true honor, and I just had a lot of fun, you guys. It was a wonderful time.
Well, we're going to do it again. We're going to do it again real soon, Elian.
Yay.
All right. So, and on that note, I'm going to say thank you, everybody, for listening today. I'll say it for a third time, even though Elian's already said it. This has been the Ontario Ringside Roundup with your hosts, Lewis Carlan and Michelle Leith. And until next time, thank you, everybody. Take care, and bye-bye, and stay safe, everyone. So long. Bye-bye.